My video for September the 20th, which by the way was my mother's birthday, 2019. Not my mother's been gone for a while, so her birthday was not 2019, obviously. Anyway, is video number 3213. The title is "We Don't Know Who or What We Are." A friend of mine is reading the Ringing Cedars of Russia series by Vladimir Megre. She is borrowing my copies one at a time. She's almost finished with book 4. I was taking book 5 to her and saw a particular page marked. Its title is "Who Are We?" I read it through at the meeting last night, and I am going to read it again in this video. I encourage you to listen. How do you respond to what you hear? Here's a clue. We do not know who or what we are because we have been lied to all of our lives about almost everything. Once we regain our natural abilities, our natural talents, gifts, and abilities will become progressively restored. Please listen to this amazing dialogue between Anastasia and Vladimir and let it sink in, please. It just might change your life, certainly your perceptions. Here's the book I'm talking about, and here's what it looks like on the back cover. Those are 6 more of the books. There's 9 books in the series that I have, although there was another one added that I never did get. But I'm reading from page 248, and Vladimir had just realized that Anastasia was a goddess, and he bowed down before her. And this is her response. Vladimir, I beg of you, get up off your knees. You should not bow down to me. Oh God, I have overdone it. I have been in too great a haste. Forgive me for not making myself clear enough to your sons. In God's sight, Vladimir, all people are equal. They should not bow down to one another. I am simply a woman. I am man, which means I am human. And Vladimir responded, you are so vastly different from all other people, Anastasia. So if you are simply human, then who are we? Who am I? She responded, you are human, you are man too. Only as you are living out your life in vanity, you have not yet been able to think of what your purpose is. And he responded, Moses, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Rama, Buddha, who are they and how do you relate to them? She said, those are my elder brothers you have named, Vladimir. I am not in a position to judge their works, but I shall say one thing. None of them had their fill of earthly love. He said, that can't be. Every single one of them has millions of worshiping followers, even today. She said, but worship does not mean love. It only exhausts the worshiper's power of thought, a power exclusive to mankind. Great is the egregore, which means a unifying collective psychic entity or field. Great is the egregore, again, of my brothers. For millions of years, many people have fed it through their worship. And in so doing, each worshiper has lost some of his energy. Over the centuries, there have been many willing to condemn the deeds of my brothers. And I could not understand why they made such great efforts to feed their own egregore, building up its energy over thousands of years. Nobody has been able to guess their secret until the dawn of the present age. And my brothers decided to gather the accumulated energy into a single whole in order to distribute it to souls now living on the earth. A new millennium will soon be given birth, in which the gods will settle the earth. These people whose conscious awareness will allow them to accept this energy in all its worth. Vladimir, I beg of you, get up off your knees. It is painful for any father to see his son bowed down and enslaved. It is only the dark forces that have always tried to demean man's significance. Vladimir, get up off your knees. Refuse to betray yourself. Do not separate yourself from me. Anastasia was extremely upset, and I did as she asked. I got up off my knees and said, I wasn't separating myself from you. On the contrary, it seems I've just begun to understand you. Only I don't agree that worship interferes with love. On the contrary, all believers say they love God. And I am bowing before you as a goddess, but you are frightened for some reason. You've become upset. She said, we have known each other for 5 years now, Vladimir. A lot of time has gone by since that night when our son was conceived. But ever since that time, not once have you had the desire to touch me, to give me the look you give to other women. Lack of understanding and now worship do not allow love to reveal itself. Worship does not bring forth children. He says, well, that's because you're not exactly a woman, Anastasia. You've become a kind of information mode. It's not just me, others too don't get your meaning right off. For example, what does don't betray yourself mean? Why do you say that in reference to me? When I first got the copies of Anastasia, I received 4 of them that had been translated into English, and I read them in 4 days. They're all about the same size books. I could not put them down. I'd sleep a little bit and get back up and start reading again. Of course, I probably did other things too. I don't remember all the details, but mostly I was focused on reading these books. And as I said, all 4, the first 4 were in 5 days. Then 5 had been back ordered, and when I got 5, 6 was available. So I got 5 and 6 together and read them in 2 days. And then each of the other 3 copies came one at a time, and I read them as they came. But I have gone back and looked at these numerous times since then, not like I did with the Bible, but to me, these are the most powerful books ever written, including the Bible and the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita and all the other religious texts, all of which have been mixed, truth mixed with lies. All of them, none of them are consistent in only telling the truth, because the purpose of those that produce these books and distribute them to the masses has always been control. Now, there's lots of areas that I could touch upon and go into, but it's gonna take other videos to do that. In any case, I recommend reading these books. My friend who is almost finished with book 4. I managed to not give her this one because she's not quite ready for it yet. She still has 40 pages or something like that to read in the previous book. So I'll get this one to her when she's finished with that one. In any case, she is amazed herself at the power of these books. To me, again, if you only read one series of books in your whole life, Anastasia would be the ones, and that was recommended by an Australian who was putting forth the books, and actually I think it was an Australian who ended up translating them into readable English. The first translation was not readable. It was just somebody that didn't know English and just took the Russian words and took the English correspondence, and that doesn't make sentences. Anyway, thank you folks for listening, and namaste.